Now, this is a topic that can get real messy real quick. Real messy real quick. And the comments are many. There are many, 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 many. So I feel like we will just skate through like some of the relevant ones and then see what we decide. Now, you love this person, you love this woman, she loves you back, but you're just like, baby girl, you gotta go. Or at least I gotta go. And I think like one of them from the comments I see, someone says, unspoken expectations and premeditated resentments. And that is a huge, huge, huge one. Whenever someone has these expectations of you that they're not making clear, but they are insinuating that you should be aware of. For example, some women can be very particular when it comes to gifting, you know. We've seen women actually, like I saw, I heard of this story where this woman, her husband brought her flowers and she grabbed the flowers and she threw them in the garbage and she said, no, these are not the flowers that you give me. Why? According to her, she says, I have given birth to your children, I take care of you and this family, and you end up buying me like mauas at 200 shillings, we kwenda. So she threw out those flowers and she said she deserves better. She deserves a bouquet that is beautiful and expensive. She deserves, like, you know, a lot of beautiful gifts because of all the things that she does. Now that is an unexpected or what do you call it, an expectation that has not been made clear, you know? And this person has probably been receiving this 200 bob flowers for a long time, that some resentment has started being harbored in her heart. To the point where she now throws them out because, amefika mwisho. Ako like, where hata uninunuliangi, kwenda huko hata you get? This person has built up so much resentment because of these premeditated expectations that they have not made clear. So that's going to make a man or a woman go away real quick.
Communication or the lack of communication ruins a lot of relationships. Saa zingine keteni tu chini and lay bare everything and then see if you can salvage something. Now, in a previous segment, we were talking about cultural differences, and this person seems to have left their person because of the same cultural differences. He said, they all came, or rather, she came from competitive witchcraft families. And I got caught in the crossfire, so I had to duck their generational curses. And I'm just like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean they came? She came from like a competitive witchcraft family, but I kind of get it. Sometimes you really like this person, you've gotten to know them, and then when you get to know them more, you find out that they do very weird things in their family that just doesn't sit well with you. And for some people, they adapt and they say, you know what? Me, I love you. What happens in Rome or what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You know, when you go to Rome, you do as the Romans do. Some people are able to really adapt to the cultural differences. But for some people, it's hella weird and it's hella sus. You know, I saw this, sometimes I go into rabbit holes when it comes to those Reddit threads, and I saw this man who says that they went out for a family dinner. He was meeting this girl's family for the first time, and they go to a restaurant, and this lady had a significantly younger sister. You know, like those oops babies, when you already have grown children and then you think you're done in that chapter, and then the universe surprises you with a child. So they had a significantly younger daughter, and apparently there's a culture in this family where they have to order fast for this child, and then when this child has received her food, only then can the rest of the family order food, because you know you have to put the child first. And he said that was hella weird, because what's wrong with all of us putting our order at the same time and then receiving our food at the same time and eating at the same? It just doesn't make sense for all of us to first sit down and look at each other while we wait for the... It just make... If you find yourself in a situation where you're unable to assimilate into that culture, it's okay for you to leave and don't feel guilty about it.
Another one that I've seen that was interesting but true is this one about insecurity. This man says that the reason why he said, I'm outie, is because she was so insecure about herself and she thought I was cheating. I caught her looking through my phone several times, and when she finally thought she had caught me on something, and which turned out to be false, We ended up getting angry at each other, and I got so angry, I was just like, you know what, I can't deal with this. If there is one thing that will actually push someone away, is insecurity. One, you will start initiating self-sabotage. Every time that you're feeling super insecure about a person or your relationship with someone, you will start grasping at straws. Like everything looks like a clue, everything looks like a sign. And I know this because I've been that person. You know, you are looking, reading between lines, reading between the betweens of the lines. It's like everything is a sign, everything is a clue, everything is something. Yeah, and you're constantly trying to confirm these assumptions and confirm these curiosities. And ultimately, when someone realizes that there's nothing that they can do, there's no more validation they can give you to assure you, they're just going to be like, you know what, it's okay. And many relationships have ended because of this. So yeah, insecurity and an excessive level of it can be a problem. There's a difference between, you know, that little bit of jealousy, like, yo, someone looks at your man and you're like, cha, you know, but then there's a difference between someone looking at your man when you're walking and you're like, oh, you know her, you've been sleeping with her, that's why, you know, it's very, very different.
And I also like this person who actually took accountability and says it was his fault because he was on a mission to change a baddie. Okay, do not change a baddie into a wifey.
You cannot.
And he said, when I met her, she had multiple boyfriends. And because I thought she was the one, I stayed in the hope that she would change. And unfortunately, that did not happen. And we see this a lot where somebody, you know, sees a girl shining somewhere. You see this girl living her hot girl summer. She's a city girl. But in your head, you're like, you know what? I can save her. I am Captain Saberho. I will take in this young lady and I will mold her into a wifey, okay? Or y'all who fall in love with strippers. You know, you're just like, you know what? When I marry her, of course she's going to leave this world behind. She's just doing it to put herself through school. Let me tell you, if you want a very submissive, traditional wife, go and look for that traditional wife. Don't be out here trying to change a baddie who has never perpetrated a jiko into a wifey, okay, who's going to cook for your in-laws at short notice. Please don't do this. As Kafami has said, it's kind of like self-sabotage because you know very well this is not who she is, and it's kind of like a challenge for you. I will break her down. I will change her and morph her into what she's supposed to be. Don't do that, babes. Don't do that.
This one is interesting. Her uncle and brothers were just bad influences along with her best friend. How do you tell someone about their own family that you know about and still think that somehow she's going to choose you? So think about her every now and then just be like, it's over. So basically, this person, the uncles are bad influences. The brothers are bad influences. The bestie is a problem. Every time it's drama. You know those people who you just, that every time you're linking up with them and first of all, their friends always have to be involved in every plan. And then whenever they come to the event, it's always a thing of they're hazing you, they're making you feel bad, they're always giving bad advice to the friend, like, this is not your type. I even wonder how you settled for this. And then it keeps becoming a pylon because this person is really taking their advice to heart, right? Everything the friend says, the uncle says, the brother says, the everybody else will be her first consideration before she even listens to you. Yeah, that relationship is gonna go nowhere. It can't happen. You know, she has to respect you, and the only way to respect you is to actually listen to you, listen to others, put it into consideration, and then come up with a solution. But if it is a situation where anaambiwa he's a cheater, anakuja anakuambia, babe, you cheated on me.
I was told.
By who?
I was informed.
By who?
A bad saw you.
I was told you look like a deadbeat, like you will never prosper in life. You are still in your potential era. And me, I want a man who's made
established.
Anakuja anakuambia, babe, me, you're in your potential. I can't deal. It's not going to work out.
Yeah. And another one here, somebody said that, you know, that service from your service provider, the Please Call Me service. He says she abused the Please Call Me service too much, okay? This Sherry in the entirety
Never has their time.
of our relationship would never just call me. Anytime I would see her phone call, I would just know it's about to be. If you wish to take up the charges
yes.
for this phone call, press 1. It's like, please.
It's over.
Are you in prison? Is this a penitentiary? Like, why? If you love somebody, you're going to put in some effort. That was just using on your part, baby girl. And also, if you don't have airtime, you have no reason being in love with somebody.
Nope.
Because what?
Nope.
If you cannot buy airtime for yourself, you have absolutely no reason to love somebody's son. That is wickedness.
You don't love yourself enough
you
to
don't
be
love
in
enough.
communication and love you want to love somebody else. Can you find your own love?
Hey,
Can you find
you
love
need to
within
focus
yourself?
on sources of income,
Can
my
you
friend.
Come out.
Where's the mixed love na taxes?
Shut
You
it,
can't
please.
afford it.
Shut it, please. Anyway, that's been our show. We hope that you have learned a few things. At least you've laughed a little bit. And if you have any other reasons why you feel like you really wanted to be with this person, but you're just like, yeah, no, I can't do it, let us know on our social media handles at Kathomi,
At Turi Faith.
See you next week.
Bye.